What's up, my OGs? It's TeresaPlusFive, and I'm back with another video. So as y'all know, I'm grieving the loss of my grandma. And I'm just grieving, right? And I'm taking Taylor to school. And I was listening to Tevin Campbell, Always in My Heart. And then I started to listen to Tell Me What You Want Me to Do by Tevin Campbell. And certain words in certain songs kind of trigger me to cry. And Taylor has seen me cry multiple times, like just breaking down crying while I'm driving him to school. And it's the certain songs that's doing it. And I'm not even knowing that it's gonna do it. I just want to hear the song, and then I just get triggered. And I went to thinking about my grandma, and as I'm tearing up, I'm thinking about my aunt. Now, this is not the same aunt that I got into it with over my grandma and all her affairs. That's the baby aunt. I'm speaking about the oldest aunt, my grandmother's oldest child, firstborn. And as I'm thinking about her, I'm thinking about how she was calling me. When my grandma first passed away in her bed at home, my oldest aunt came over and she consoled me. You know, she made me feel like, you know, Teresa, it's okay. She was crying with me. And she called me that night and was like, Teresa, I know it's hard. It's going to be hard for all of us. And I'm just telling her, you know, what happened with me and her sister, which is the baby aunt. And she's like, yeah, I know it's not right, you know, and she's going to get hers or whatever. And then she tells me, I'm going to call you every day like I used to do with Mama, because she used to call my grandma every day after she get off of work. I never forget it. She used to call around like 2-something every time she get off of work. So that was her tradition. That was her thing with my grandma, her mom. So she was like, well, since Mama ain't here no more, I'm going to just call you every day. So at the time, I was like, okay, all right, that's cool. So she sticks to her word. She calls me every day, y'all. And then finally, something in me just says, I can't take it anymore. I can't take her calling me every day, because we find ourselves both crying on the phone every time she calls. And she still kept calling me. She still kept her word. But I've been ignoring her. I've been ignoring her. And I shouldn't have been doing it, because she was the only one who was calling when nobody else was calling. And the only reason why I started ignoring her calls is because I know if she calls me, I know we're going to be crying on the phone, and I didn't want to be in that space. So I avoided her calls. And she keeps calling. She keeps calling. So my aunt is the type of aunt, she doesn't give up. So I believe she got that from my grandma. Like, she never gives up. She's consistent. Even with me ignoring her, y'all, she's still been calling. she's kind of slowed up from calling, and I know why, because I've been ignoring her. But I feel like I've really broken her heart. I feel like I've really broken her heart because her mom is gone, and I'm the only person that was closest to her mom when she was living. And I didn't allow her to keep her tradition or keep her, thing going with her calling her mom. I didn't allow her to do that. So I know like her grieving process is probably a lot harder now. And the next time she calls, I'm going to answer the phone, y'all. I'm going to answer the phone. But I've been avoiding her calls because I know I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be like this. And she's going to be like this on the other side of the phone. And I just want to tell her, like, I'm so sorry, Auntie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for ignoring your calls. Like, I'm so sorry, but I just didn't want to be in that space. I just didn't want to be in that space. Like, this pain is so unbearable. It's so unbearable. And I know out of all of her kids, like, I feel like she's hurting the most because she's the first child. She's the firstborn. She's the oldest. So she has a rather unique relationship. Well, she had a rather unique relationship with my grandma, which is her mom. And when you're a first-time mom, you're going through trial and error. You're figuring it out. There's no planner. There's no book on it, on how to be a mom. You're just going through the motions, just trying to figure it out, just trying to learn. And your first child kind of grows with you. They're no better than the other children, but it's a different type of bond. It's a different type of bond. The first time you're feeding a baby, first time you're holding a baby, first time you're hearing a baby cry, all of these first time things, right? And I just feel like I let her down. And I know she's not seeing it like in a malicious way, like, oh, I'm just not answering the phone. I know in my heart of hearts, I know she's thinking, Teresa just don't want to deal with it right now. I don't, y'all, I've been avoiding her. I just needed space and time. Like my step aunt who dated my uncle. She's been trying to come around and I've been avoiding her coming around. I've been avoiding some of her text messages. And I just needed space. And I hope they understand that I need space. It was nothing ill will towards him. I just needed space. That's how I am. I'm a Pisces, so when I need my space, I need my space. I give so much to the world, so much love, so much time, so much compassion. And I just need time to build that back up so I can give y'all more, And I hope they forgive me because it didn't come from an ill will place. I know how their hearts are, so I know they're not going to think of it like a malicious way, or I'm trying to be funny or mean or something. I just needed space. I just needed time. But I know when my aunt called, like she called, I think she called for Thanksgiving and Christmas. No, she called for Thanksgiving. I didn't pick up. I didn't pick up. Because I know I'm going to be crying. I know when I hear her voice, I'm going to cry. And what kind of really hurt me with my oldest aunt was when my younger aunt, the baby aunt, when she was doing all these things to me and my dad, my oldest aunt never spoke up. At least I didn't hear her speak up. And it hurt too, because it's like, you care about me. You want everything to go right. You want to stand up for what's right. I didn't hear her do that. I don't know if she did it in private, but you didn't stand up as the oldest child. You let her just do whatever. And I was quite disappointed in it. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I am going to answer the phone for her whenever she do call again. And I'm going to explain to her, Auntie, I just needed time. I didn't want to be around anybody. I still haven't done anything with my grandma's ashes. Because I'm still in this mindset of like, I don't want to believe it. I have my grandma's pictures around the house. Sometimes I avoid looking at her pictures because it will break me down. And then other days I look at it and I'm smiling and I'm talking to them. I'm talking to the pictures. I don't know, y'all. When my grandma first passed, I was sad. I was hurt. I was mad at things my aunt did. I was all over the place. And I feel like I'm still a bit all over the place. But I'm trying to manage my emotions more now. Like I don't get as mad anymore about the situation. But I do find myself just breaking down out of nowhere. Someone could say a certain word. Somebody could say, Grandma, I'm going to break down. A certain song, I'm going to break down. I'm just trying to manage. I'm trying to manage. And it's like, you know, the kids will be too loud. I get frustrated. If they're doing too much moving around, I get frustrated. And I've thought about going to see a therapist, but then again, it's like, they just gonna piss me off. Because a lot of them are emotionless. They don't have sympathy. They don't have empathy. They're just there for the money. They're just there to say, yeah, I understand, I get it. But do they really get it? Have they ever dealt with a death before? Can you really sympathize with me? Can you really empathize with me? And then sometimes when I go in Walmart, I see older people and I'm just so happy. And then other days I'm bitter. I'm like, I wish that was my grandma. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if it's weird or not. I don't know if it's a part of the grieving process. I've never had to grieve. I've never experienced death before. I haven't looked at my grandma's death certificate since the first time I looked at it with y'all. I haven't done anything with her ashes. I just kept them there. Sometimes I think about hugging the box. And then sometimes I avoid it. But I don't sit anything on top of the box. I don't let it get dusty or anything. I don't know, it's just weird, y'all. I don't know. I just wish, like, my grandma would visit, come around more. And she probably is here. But I just really want the physical. And a lot of times I think about talking back to my cousins. Because I know they would be here to kind of console me and make me feel a little bit better. But then you have some cousins where they're not as emotional as me. And it'll come off as they don't care. And then I have one Cancer cousin. She's a Cancer, and me and her was like this, but she's the daughter of my aunt, the baby aunt, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to talk to her because I really want to talk to her about how I feel about my grandma and how I feel about everything that her mama did. But it's like, I know she gonna go back and tell her mama. So it's like, what's the use? You know? And then her son, which is my other cousin. Like, I really want to tell him how I feel. But it's like, y'all been up under her manipulation. So, I don't know. I don't know where their headspace is. I'm pretty sure they know where mine is. And then my, I think she's my older cousin, yeah. My older cousin, we haven't always seen eye to eye, but, you know, we've had heart-to-heart talks. And I felt like it done some good, but I don't know. She's a Libra. I don't know if that makes any difference, but she does kind of show like that balance kind of thing. Like, oh, we're either going to talk or we're not, you know, type of thing. And she could be stubborn, I could be stubborn. So, I don't know, y'all. But my baby aunt, I'm never talking to her again. Like, she can never get access to me ever again. That's a part of why I won't talk to her kids, because I know they're going to tell her everything I said. So I'm just like, nah, I'm straight. But when my oldest aunt called me again, when she reach out and call me again, I'm going to answer the phone. And I'm going to tell her why I didn't answer the phone. It's been difficult. It's been very, very, very difficult for me. And I'm sure she knows that. And I'm sure she will understand. I just didn't want to talk to nobody. At a point in my life, I felt like everybody was against me. Like all the family was against me. I felt like they hated my guts. because of the relationship I had with my grandma. That's just me talking. That's just me thinking. I'm an overthinker. They may not even feel that way. But some pieces of them, they feel like I've taken that relationship or I've intervened in their relationship with my grandma. I don't see how. Everybody's different. Everybody could have approached her, but they didn't. So I'm just like, how could I be the issue? But of course, I'm the scapegoat of why you didn't have a relationship with your grandma. Like, because if it was me, can't nobody stop me from having a relationship with my grandma. Like, that's just weird to me, but nevertheless. So, but yeah, y'all, some days when I'm taking Taylor to school, I just break down crying right in the middle of driving. And he be like, you all right, Mom? And I'm like, he's like, I know it's about grandma. I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm like, it's just hard. He's like, yeah, I know. But yeah, I shouldn't have done that, y'all. I shouldn't have avoided that potential closer relationship with me and my oldest aunt. I shouldn't have avoided it, but I needed time. I needed space. But one thing that I do really, really respect about her is I kept ignoring her and she just kept calling. As if, girl, you ignoring me or you not answering the phone or you may be busy with the kids, but I'm finna keep calling you and I'm finna keep trying to attempt to reach out to you. Consistent, persistent, determined. I like that about a person. But, yeah, y'all, I had to come on here and just spill my feelings because this is a lifestyle channel. And, you know, whenever I'm going through it, or whenever I have good news, I definitely like to share it with y'all for sure. What's so crazy is I used to write my feelings in a diary. The only thing that I can remember writing in a diary is like how I felt about my mom and dad not being in my life, about boys. But that's the only thing that I've written in a diary or written in a journal, you know. I probably wrote about my oldest cousin who I've gotten into it with multiple times. I'm sure I wrote that in my diary many of times. Why I couldn't understand, like, why we always had a disconnect from the start. And she explained to me why. And I understood from her perspective, and her feelings are definitely valid for sure. But I felt like that should have been, you know, geared more towards telling my grandma. Like that, those feelings should have been geared more towards my grandma, not me. Because I can't help what happens. But, yeah. Guess I'm gonna get on up out of here, y'all. I might go shopping today to Dollar General, but I don't know. I really just kind of want to relax and look for more jobs and stuff and just relax, you know? So I will talk to you guys later in my next video. Bye.